Hello, welcome to a video in which I'm going to set up Pro Tools 2023.12, the new one, to work with an external Dolby Atmos renderer. All right, here we go. So first thing you got to do is make a Pro Tools session. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you boot up Pro Tools. So it's Playback Engine. Under Setup, Playback Engine is the Dolby Audio Bridge. So your audio is going to come from Pro Tools and go out to the Dolby renderer. So you may need to do that, and it'll probably ask you to restart when you do that. The audio will then be sent over here to the Dolby Atmos renderer, which you need to have open and ready to go. I would set its monitoring to physical or 7.1.4 here in Control-C at NESCOM because we want to go to all the speakers. And make sure you're not in master mode and playing back an audio file, that you're in input, so that you will have to potentially close your master file to do that. All right, once you've done that, it's time to get Pro Tools set up in the I/O. That is under Setup, I/O. And as a general rule, I like to delete all the tabs of my I/O when I'm starting fresh here, so there's nothing in the way to cause problems. So I'm going to hit Option and click these and hit Delete Path. I'm going to go to the next tab. I can just click one, do a Select All, Command A, and hit the Delete key on the keyboard, and they'll all go away. Going to delete the buses as well. Just kind of clear all this out, and then I'm going to clear out the existing Dolby Atmos routing if you have that. At this point, turn on Pro Tools, turn on Dolby mode in Pro Tools. That's this little checkbox here, and set it to external render. This video is for external render. I'm going to make another video here in a minute for internal renderer. Make sure it's seeing the host Dolby Atmos render that you have running in the background. You may have to click on the down here on this little drop down here and bring up. In this particular case, it's showing the name of this computer I'm operating right now. And hopefully you have a green light here. This is indicating that it's seeing the render. If you don't have that working, you're going to have to figure that out. And now with everything ready to go, pull config is the button to press. This is going to, Pro Tools is going to talk to the Dolby Atmos renderer and pull over the configuration that you have there and create all the objects you need. And it's also going to go and map your output. So I'm clicking on the output tab, and it's created a 7.1.2 output bed to send your audio over to the renderer. So that's cool. I'm not going to create any inputs, don't need it. Output's already done, leave them alone. But I am going to create some buses so I can do some mixing. I've got some buses to send things here and there, so I'll just do a default there. At this point, the I/O is done and ready to go. Oh, wait, hold on. I think you should also set your default output bus. So anytime you make a mono bus, it goes off to the bed. And anytime you make a stereo track or aux return or whatever, it also goes off to the bed. So this will help you out. Every time you make something new, it'll automatically be heard. You won't have to send it somewhere. So that's kind of useful. And so hit OK. Now I'm going to go to the mix window. I'm going to make two aux inputs. So Command Shift N here, and brings up the new tracks dialog. I'm going to make two mono aux inputs. And what's nice is that they should automatically route to the bed because I just set that in default output buses. Now, before we get any farther, you want to make sure objects are visible in your mix window. So to do that, down here in the lower left, open up this preference, I don't know what you call this, selector, and make sure objects are visible, and that will let you see the Dolby routing objects right up here. So let's name our tracks. The first one here, which we're going to name BIN for binaural. This one definitely needs to be routed to the bed, just like I have it there. That's bed 1 through 10. And the binaural settings, you're going to instantiate the Dolby Laboratories binaural settings plugin. If you don't have it sorted by manufacturer, that's probably under Other. Is it? Where would you find it? Soundfield, Dolby. There, it's under Soundfield. So that's another place you can find it, binaural settings. So I didn't do it. Let's do it. Dolby binaural settings. And you don't have to tweak this, but this is where you can configure the binaural settings for each object. You can also do it in the render itself, but this is Nice place to have it as well. The second aux input is going to be named Timecode, or I just name it TC. And this one needs to be sent to a very specific object. It needs to be sent off, click on the object here, to object 128. And this one's going to send timecode over to do the Dolby Atmos render. So you send it to object 128, and then you click on the orange button here, the bus button, and make it orange. So now it is object 128. And for a plugin, again, it's under Dolby, or I saw it a moment ago under Soundfield. We're going to use the, is it not there? It's the Dolby LTC one. Not sure where it's hiding. Dolby LTC generator. So we're going to put that in there. And this is a reminder to double check my session under Setup, Session, and make sure my session is set to 24 frames per second, so the Dolby is nice and happy. Now, this timecode is going to be sent off via object 128 to the renderer, and you don't have to do this. I mean, I think my previous video explained how to set up the renderer, but you do want to confirm that under preferences for the renderer that your timecode input, I'm sorry, it's way at the top. I didn't need to go down. There it is. LTC input channel is indeed object 128. So with that all ready to go, I think we're mostly here. Oh, there's one more thing I want to set up. I want to set up a master fader. So we're going to do Command-Shift-N again. A mono master fader for, and this is going to be for our LFE, for a subwoofer channel. And this thing should be routed to the bed and the LFE channel. And this is going to be a master fader. We don't need that open. For the sub itself, and on it, you're going to instantiate a plugin. I'm going to use FabFilter because I like it. It needs to be an EQ plugin. And you need to create a low-pass filter. So let's find a in FabFilter language, it's called a high cut. High cut filter, low-pass filter, and I'm going to put it at 150 hertz. And so what this is going to do is make sure any energy you send to the sub, no energy above 150 hertz will be recorded on that bus. And that's important because in some situations, your Dolby file will be played back in an environment without a sub, such as headphones. And that channel will be folded into the mix. And if you've got high frequencies in it, you're going to hear it in the mix on the sub channel, even though normally when it's fed to a sub, the sub itself would kind of low pass it. So this is really important to do. So anyway, we're completely set up now. And let's test this all. I'm going to make Command-Shift-N. I'm going to make yet another aux input. One mono. This is just for a setup. That was kind of funny. I had messed up on that. Here, let's try this again. Aux input. This is just a test. To test I've got sound. I'm going to bring the fader down. And I'm going to plug in other signal generator. And then set it to pink noise. And I brought the fader down so it didn't get loud on me. And it's automatically going to the bed now so I can bring it up. I hear it in the center channel, and I'm going to pan it around my ears. Just kind of make sure all my speakers work. If you want to check the height channels, bring up the little height panner, bring it upstairs, and my speakers are upstairs above me. So I just checked all my speakers. I know I'm ready to go. I'm ready to mix. Have a good day. Bye-bye.